I killed those men. Oh, wait, sorry. I killed those men. All 3 of them. We had the right to work that vein. Us, not them. Lead is money. And they tried to take our lead. I said, no more! They needed to be snuffed out. But they'll never find out I did it. Never. 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 Oh God.
Hi, my name is Elise and I've come far away and back in time to interview a miner. It's for this thing called a television programme, it's like a newspaper, but it does all the thinking for you. It's going to be a story of murder, mining and magic.
Murder? What do you mean, murder? I didn't do nothing. Nothing! Nothing!
But yeah, I'll be on the show. Great! This is Magpie Mine. Magpie Mine isn't visited enough for how cool this place really is. Its first records date back to 1740. Now that's old. I spoke to someone who really knows what's going on.
So Magpie Mine is one of the most well-preserved old ancient mines in the country. Certainly the best preserved lead mine. It's in the Derbyshire ore field. The miners were mining lead ore, or galena, mineral, from the ground for making lead flashing, for roofs, for water pipes, for houses, offices, factories, etc. Munitions and chemical industry. And it started in the early 1700s and it shut down in the 1950s, finally. But had many geysers. It was shut down in that 250-year history. It was not working continuously, and economics and logistical factors like flooding of the mine shut it for years on end.
Every morning, a miner would get up to go on his 10-hour shift. He would get dressed and go down this thing. This is an entrance shaft to the mine and the only way they're getting in. It's a 300-foot drop, and they would use wooden planks all the way down to help them. These planks are called stemples. They've all rotted away now, but that's not all. After the 300-foot drop levels out, they've got another 700 feet on their journey to start work. All in all, that's 300 metres for a daily commute. Ooh. Ooh.
So Magpie Mine, because it was a virtually continuously working site for over 250 years, shows the evolution from artisanal mining in the early years of the 1700s to highly mechanised efforts in, for example, in the 1950s. So it shows at one site the evolution of the industry from really very crude artisanal work to deep mine mechanised mining as we know it today.
And in order to find out what really happened here, I travelled far away and back in time to find out a little bit more.
I do. When I worked, lad, we used to get up in the morning at 10:30 at night, half an hour before we go on bed. Our miners got lung disease, arthritis, and our life expectancy were 45 years old. If you were lucky, if you didn't die in the mine. It's a brilliant job, yes. Only for the brave, for the tough. If you're tough like me, you can do this job. Oh my God. You can do this job, not for a southerner like you. We get paid based on how much we get out, and we've got to pay the barmaster to give any lead in. There's no such thing as overtime, just all time, and even miners are being made to work.
The miners?
No, miners.
Children, right, okay. Could you tell me about the murders?
They didn't happen.
Well, they did.
Well, they didn't.
There was a very bitter dispute between two warring factions of miners here. The red soil miners, where we stood here, and the Magpie miners down the slope. They were basically unfortunately working the same vein. They ran into each other, and a hugely bitter and fractious and prolonged dispute took place, which tragically ended in 3 of the red soil miners losing their lives, because what they did, they took straw down into the mines which had been impregnated with bitumen, and they would literally smoke their rivals out. And this practice ended up with 3 red soil miners being asphyxiated by fumes, tragically. The Magpie murders, where 3 red soil miners lost their lives, thankfully was a massive outlier in the history of Derbyshire lead mining. These territorial disputes did occur, but they were sorted out by legal frameworks, and they very rarely descended into acts of petty violence, vandalism and ultimately murder.
24 of us were put on trial for murder that day, and they let us all go because they couldn't pinpoint who it was. They couldn't pinpoint who it was.
That was Carl, a name I've used to protect his identity, who died later that day in mysterious circumstances. I spoke to one of the widows to find out their side of the story. I clean the lead as it comes out. I wash the lead, and if I'm lucky, I'll make half as much as what my husband made. Yeah, well, what do you do? One day, your husband doesn't come home. The one you loved, the one who provided for you, you're gone. All for a rich man to have a better house and all these bitter disputes. Sorry. Justice has not been served. Us widows put a curse on this land. It's the least they deserve. They are petty murderers. And this actually happened. Any inconvenience on this site over the years was always blamed on these widows and their crazy curse. It became a phenomenon. In 1839, everything changed. A new mining engineer came on scene, John Taylor, and he brought in regular pay, regular shift patterns, hard hats, safety ties. Safety ties? Is that in the script? Sorry. Is that safety ties? Is that really in the script? It is. Who wrote this? Oh, I did. Yeah. No, I did. Okay, no, let me just cut. I spoke to some of the visitors of Magpie Mine Heritage Opening Day to find out more.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see all the surface remains preserved, because there's shafts all over the Peak District that are just a hole in the ground or some depressions and kind of just remnants really. But here you get the whole scale of things with the engine house, you get the horse gin and the headgear, all the winding engines, and you kind of see what life would have been like around the mine rather than just underground. So I just think it's really interesting how many people this was their whole lives, and there's just so little of it left that what we have here kind of preserves that. And you know, the whole industry is the same as coal mining, the same as with everything, and it's just gone. You know, and these things that we have left are so important to keep going, which is why places like this are great.
We live across the hill in Chesterfield, and whenever friends and family come and visit us in Derbyshire, Magpie Mine is probably the first place that we bring people to, because it's such an iconic place, and it's so beautiful and peaceful and then full of history. So we don't really go to Chatsworth House or Haddon Hall. Magpie Mine's the place where we come.
As a result of the open day, it's the first time I've actually walked around the whole site and had it explained and the history explained, and it's enabled me to translate the landscape almost, to understand it, what's going on underneath it, what formed it. Magpie Mine could be seen as the gateway to the industrial heritage of Derbyshire. So it's been a brilliant day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. You've been in the middle of nowhere. I've been Elise Freshwater-Blizzard, and as always on this show, this space is free to enter, but please do consider donating. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the middle of nowhere. Sorry, wait, I've just realised something. Can you just give me a second? Just give me a second. What? Well, I wasn't going to take the National Rail service, was I? Their bus replacement service wasn't even working today. If you're from Derbyshire, I bet you really think my accent sucks. That's because it does.